Everyone, happy full moon, happy eclipse. We're going to do a reading and see what wants to come through for you. I'm actually going to do 3 separate readings so you can choose your group. I'll show you something in a second for you to choose your group, but this reading is going to be about what your intuition is telling you that's true, what's a fear you have that's unnecessary and not true, what can you set in motion for the future at this time, and how will this eclipse change you? Okay, so you can pick group 1, 2, and 3. I'll give you some objects here. We'll do group 1, this little bell. We'll do group 3, amethyst. And did I say group 3? Okay, group 3, the amethyst. Group 2, I know that was confusing. Maybe there's something going on with group 3 and group 3. Group 3 and group 3. What's going on here? Somebody really needs to watch group 3. Okay. Something going on with group 3 and group 2. Oh my goodness. And group 2, the Palo Santo. So just to recap, the bell, group 1, group 2, Palo Santo, and group 3, the amethyst. I will take a picture so it becomes clear and you can meditate on the energies and choose your group. If you choose a group and it's not resonating with you, it's okay. You can choose another. You can watch all 3. You can watch 1. You can watch none. It's all good. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in your groups. Group 1, the bell. Let's see what's happening for you during this full moon eclipse. So I'm going to get out all the cards and we'll go from there. I'm hearing something about more respect. You're getting more respect. There's more respect coming in. In a disrespectful situation, there's more respect. I don't know what that's about. Seeing like metal here, a penny, or maybe it's brass, like the bell. I'm also looking at this bell. I never really looked at this before. It's interesting, but there's these little markings on the side. There's 3 steps to something. And it's like the first step, you have a little bit of information. The second step, or the second level, second layer, it's like information overload, or a lot is happening. And then the last step, it's like in between the two. It calms down. It's something more sustainable. I don't know what that means for everyone, or if that makes sense, but take it or not, or leave it. Group 1. Group 1. Eclipse for group 1, Spirit. Another one wants to come through. A few more. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, so something big is happening during this eclipse because I pulled out a lot of cards for what's changing or how you're going to change. So, something your intuition is telling you that is absolutely true. The empty room. Meadow. Success, blessings, and positivity. Like all these flowers, red flowers. They look like daisies under a red light. Interesting. Maybe you're doing something very artistic here, or there's something about the past coming up, like a past energy that really invigorated you coming through again. Yeah, look, the forgotten, missed opportunities, fear of failure. Some old skill or talent you're reviving, something like this. Past life? Yeah, interesting. It's time. Strength. It's time. It's supposed to happen this year. And Phoenix. Holy shit balls. Okay, guys, this is so this is so exciting. Okay, we definitely have a rebirth. The forgotten past life Phoenix and Meadow with the empty room and strength. Okay, so intuitively, you're feeling like something's coming up, or you're recognizing something in your life as being potentially linked to a past life or past energies, something that you forgot. This could be an essence, I'm hearing, of yourself. Some missed opportunity is now being presented to you. And I love that it came out with the empty room, because this card talks about the potentials being endless. The room is empty. You can fill it up with whatever you want. And it feels like what you want to fill it up with is something that takes a little bit of courage, but gives you a lot of strength. This is going to bring a lot of success to you. Some of you are thinking about creating a space somewhere. Maybe you're thinking of renting a space or creating a space in your house to do something. This is a good idea. Or if you're thinking about moving, this is also a good idea. You're going to be moving closer to something that's linked from a past life that you need to be close to. For others of you, this is something entirely different. And the empty room is very symbolic of this space you have cleared out energetically for something to be rebirthed. The Phoenix and past life. Oh, I'm getting such like an exciting energy. This is like you've cleared some past life karma, trauma even for some of you. You've risen from the ashes here. I want more though. The forgotten, missed opportunities, fear of failure. Something that you held yourself back from because you felt scared that you couldn't do it, or you weren't good enough, or you didn't know what you were doing. It's like it's time now to push that fear aside and really embrace what this energy is offering you. The meadow. Look at all these flowers in the meadow. For some of you, this is some artistic vision or skill. I like it. I like it a lot. And I said something, the bell, these layers. Yeah, so these could be different lives. Like the first life, there was a little bit of information. The second life, it was like overwhelmed. Now you're at the third tier where everything comes together and it's exactly time for this to pull through. Also like how we have like two symbols of like an eclipse here. Ooh. So whatever you're feeling intuitively driven or guided to do, like this is something that could actually lead me somewhere. You're right. You're totally right. This is in your life path. This is meant for you. Okay? We got that. We also have number 42, which is a 10, completion. It is time for this to happen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe the rest of the cards will give you some insight. I just had deja vu right there. It feels like something from 3 years ago, 4 years ago, or maybe even longer. But it's like an energy is picking back up again. I'm so excited for you. This is going to be very inspiring. Ooh, I love it. Okay, so let's see an unnecessary fear. Something that's not true. The Deer. The Alchemist, it says balance, invention, and destruction. The Riddle. The Empress. Release with this knife. Dagger. And Beloved, love, reciprocity, and intertwinement. Okay. There's a few things. Some of you think that achieving something that you feel inspired to move towards is harder than it actually is. That you're going to have to figure out some kind of riddle. You'll have to be a super duper smart alchemist in order to make something happen. You already are a super duper smart alchemist. Okay, you know what you're doing. You're moving towards it. It's happening. This freaking pile is so strong. Look at the colors of this. Okay, and that's true. That's yours. You got this. That's in your path. Okay, don't forget that. Whatever you're moving towards or inspired by, and some of you, you don't really know quite yet, but you're gonna get some kind of opportunity, and it sparks like, oh yeah, I always did want to do that. Okay, it's exciting. This fear is, it's too hard. I'm gonna have to learn more. I need more money. I need more resources. I need more information in order to move forward. This is also you looking for a lot of information, more information to release something than you need. This is also you thinking that you haven't released something that you have. One second. There's a level of vigilance I'm sensing here. Like I have to be aware, I have to be cautious, I have to be on top of things so nothing gets the best of me. There could be some feelings of past love or a past relationship coming back to haunt you or ruin something for you. And I feel like that's an unnecessary, untrue fear. Well, it is. It's not just a feeling, it is an unnecessary fear. What else? Let's hear, Spirit. There's also this idea that you need to really break something down in order to build yourself back up. I don't know what that is. For a very small number of you, you could even be feeling like someone you love is entangled with someone dangerous or someone they shouldn't be entangled with, and you need to somehow get in there, get involved, figure something out. That's not something you should do. Why? Hold on. I wasn't going to pull more, but I feel like we need more. Father of Cups. The situation is better if you take a more reserved position. The Bear in reverse. Yeah, I am getting Mother Bear vibes here. And in reverse, it's like, stay aware, but don't get too involved in this particular situation at this time. Because I feel like, I know this is very specific and it's not for all of you, but for someone, it's like if you go in there trying to do something, you know, when you say, you try to protect someone and they just keep doing the thing and they do it even more because they don't like to be told what to do. It's that feeling. Someone's maybe got to figure something out for themselves. There could be a link to group 3 here. Okay, but something you are making more complicated in your mind, it's not necessary. You don't need to solve any kind of riddle in order to have abundance. You don't need more resources, more tools, more information, more time, more money. You don't. You're good. I also feel like for those of you who are in a relationship where you want to be in this relationship, you could have a fear that somebody is hiding something from you and that they're going to leave you. That's an unnecessary fear. Father of Swords. Think rationally about the situation. Think logically. Now, this is a general message, so you have to use your discernment. If there are clear-cut actions that show you that this is happening and this is the case, then okay. But Spirit is saying for someone here, this is not rational. There's nothing this person is doing or showing you that is telling you that they're not invested. They may not be as sentimental as you would like at this time, but they could be dealing with a lot of issues unrelated to you that are taking up their psychic attention, I'm hearing. Okay, that's pretty specific. Let's see how you can invest in something you can grow. What do you need to do to help this grow? The Offering. Apprentice. higher education, beliefs, and wisdom. Friendship. The Star. Well, this is pretty clear cut. Four of Swords. And the Wise One. Tradition and order. Okay, so some of you, it's to go back to school or take a course or do some kind of professional investment in something that you want to do. For those of you who are more spiritual leaning and you're trying to get into like your spirituality more, there's a guide, a guru, a mentor, something like that. I don't really like the word guru because I don't like to put people in a hierarchy. We are all one. We are all equals. We're just, some of us are better at other things and they're better at other things than we are, you know? Anyway, so maybe there's something about looking at your mentors on a horizontal playing field rather than someone is better than you. So, apprentice, yeah. There's something that you need to learn, but that doesn't mean you are less than if you are learning. You are just a beginner's mind. There is something being offered to you, and it could be friendship from someone who is very wise and has a lot to teach you. And this is very good for you. I feel like it's even healing your subconscious mind, but it's a trustworthy friendship. This is like a soulmate or a soul connection. This is someone who could help bring a lot of healing. Also, if you have an offer from a friend to spend some time together, then take it. There is somebody that you could work with, for sure, who could help point you in a direction and give you some much needed advice and guidance. But it seems to be important for you to know that you're on an equal playing field with this person. There are things perhaps that they could learn from you that you should offer to them. And that will help solidify your partnership or your friendship. So whatever you're trying to grow, this is the investment you need to make. An education or a partnership, or being an apprentice somewhere, building a friendship. Did I say that twice? Okay. How is this eclipse going to change you? The Ocean. The Adventurer, responsibility and expectations. See this volcano here? I'm hearing lava into the water. Okay. The Thief, seizing the moment, selfishness. The Stand, courage, determination, and fearlessness. Focus. You're confronting something that you've put on the back burner for some time. I don't know if this is like inner confrontation, like you're telling yourself, hey, we got to think about this right now. We got to deal with this emotion. We got to look at this. Or if it's an outward thing. But with the Ocean, it appears to be inward. It has something to do with what you want to be responsible for. Do you want to be responsible for someone else? Do you want to be responsible for their karma? Are they stealing something from you? Your time, your energy, if you continue to take responsibility for them and focus on them. That's for someone. Let's keep going and see what else. The dolphin in the ocean. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Six of Swords. The Gazelle. And the Fox. Yeah, I feel like this full moon eclipse is changing the way that you're looking at a situation that you've been very focused on. It feels to me that you're deciding to get into an energy where you prioritize yourself and your own karma rather than helping solve someone else's. It's not to say that you can't help whoever this is or put some focus on their energy, but not over and above your own. This feels like you're being more discerning after this full moon. And the discernment comes from your intuition. This is also about your own freedom and not getting entangled in situations that limit your sense of mobility and freedom. There's also something about not carrying someone else's stress. This could be financial stress or health stress as a burden of your own. And having the courage to stand up for yourself to yourself. Okay, so maybe you feel bad when you don't put a lot of time, focus, and energy towards whatever this is, this person, this situation. And this is you having a conversation with yourself like, hey, it's okay. They can handle it. Not my problem, not my karma. I need to focus on this right now. I need to spend time doing what I love and not feel guilty about it. Okay, so there's something like that happening. And this is part of this rebirth. This is part of this phoenix rising past life. You actually focusing and being determined to move forward with something that inspires you. And that's going to require you to put more energy towards that than somebody else's life. Okay? And part of you putting energy towards what inspires you is you seeking out friends who are also involved in similar things, friendships that support your dreams, or taking courses or teaching courses or doing something that helps grow your knowledge base about this thing here over here with the empty room. So that's a beautiful message, group 1. I hope that helped you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time. 2, those of you who chose the Palo, Santo, I was getting something like you're holding many things in your mind. I'm also very drawn to these marks here. I don't know, maybe that looks like something to you. Kind of looks like a bee or a dragonfly or a seagull or a hawk, an eagle. I don't know, something with wings. Very interesting. There's something about this that I think you could scry on or look into, and you might receive some kind of message. Maybe you want to pause it. I don't know. Something for someone here. There's also something about carving things into wood. Maybe these are initials that you're carving into wood or somebody has. There's some kind of signpost that you're meant to see. But yeah, I was getting that you're holding a lot of things in your mind at once. So let's see, group 2. What's going on for you? Something with AR coming through, like, I don't know what this is. What should I say it? I don't know. Let me look it up first, so I don't sound like a total fool. It's like Arabus or something. Arabus, not Ouroboros. Arabus. I don't know what that is. It sounds like maybe it's in a different language. I don't know. Maybe that means something specific to someone. Okay. I just Googled it and I didn't come up with anything, but I'm seeing the direction east. Also Friday, traveling, and also 53. 1991. There could also be something about feeling fed up with something. Something could feel like it's on a loop here. Whoa. Okay, hold on. A lot of things on your mind. Okay, so we have your intuition, your fear, what you can create here, and how the eclipse is changing you. Let's get all the cards out, and then we'll go in further. Maybe it's like Arbus, Deanne Arbus. She was a photographer. Hold on a second. There's something here. Let me see what comes up. There could be a message. But it was not exactly that, but let's see. She photographed an interesting group of people who were generally thought to be on the outskirts of society or were looked at as quote unquote weird or different. And she wanted to bring their stories into focus. So you could be working with maybe a marginalized group of some sort, or you could be in one and you're trying to seek some kind of representation, or you're making yourself known. I'm also getting Amy, also Andy, which is my name, but I am getting that. Maybe it's your name too. Something that's 17. Okay, we got to get off that. Let's see. Spirit. It's a little specific, so let's keep going. I feel like you're doing something that's going to set up some kind of foundation or legacy or it's like someone's waving a flag here. That's what I'm seeing. It's like you're staking a claim, or you're making a name for yourself or some people. If this doesn't resonate, maybe check out another group, or maybe the message will become clearer. So let's see what your intuition is telling you. That is absolutely 100% the truth. The Mask. Serpent. Rebirth. Unconventionality. Conventionality. There we go. Nonconformity. It's okay. You can make fun of me. No problemo. Ooh, we have another serpent. Transmute. Number 44. The Cartographer, a crossroads, exploration, cartographer. What's up with me speaking? Cartographer, cartographer, arbus. I don't know. There's something going on. Maybe a mispronunciation. Okay, so maybe the mask. It's like somebody can't really say something, or there's something off that's alerting you to something. Cartographer, a crossroads, an exploration. And the Son of Swords, Knight of Swords. 2 snakes and the Mask. Well, some of you are sensing a snake in the grass somewhere, and you're right. You've been doing some digging, some research, mapping things out. This could have something to do with your family or something legal, or perhaps you're tracing history, digging up history in some sense. But you're seeking to change the course of direction here. You want things to be different, or you sense that it can be different and that you need to say something about this. There's something about like, I can make a change. I can reveal some snakes and make a change at the same time. But it requires me taking action and saying something, and maybe saying it clearly, being prepared. Knowing what I'm going to say before I'm going to say it, so I don't mispronunciate it, or so I don't trip up and look like a fool. But, you know, even still, if you feel that way, the weight of your words are more important than your enunciation and pronunciation of them. Which I think is a metaphor. It's like, don't feel you have to say something exactly perfect in order for it to be received. Interesting. The Z was even coming out there. Received. Whoa, what is going on? You could feel like you're almost speaking a different language with someone, or you need to speak a different language with someone. I feel like I need another one, though, to help me, Spirit. Can you tell me more about what group 2 knows to be true. Their intuition is telling them is true. Unicorn with non-conformity. Unicorn, Wheel of Fortune, and the Two of Swords. You need to go the other way. You need to choose a different path. And it might not be a path that's well understood. Maybe there is something, though, about like people rehearsing too much, and you don't want to have to do that. It's okay to make mistakes. It's like you're deciding on your approach. Well, be yourself, mistakes and all. Because your mistakes or flaws, whatever, are actually your imperfections, are actually what make you special, make you you. Don't turn the wheel of someone else that you're not. What's going on here, group 2? What are you doing? Crossroads. Well, yeah, you're definitely at a crossroads. I feel like you could take something someone said to you, a put down, an insult, a criticism that was unwarranted, something like that, and use the energy, transmute it to carve out a niche, a new path. It's like use it to your advantage. I feel like your intuition is telling you that you're a diamond in the rough, or there's a needle in the haystack. There's something, an opportunity for the taking, but it's not an opportunity everyone can see or will get on board with or everyone will receive right away. But it's there and it's gold. Okay, let's see a fear that's unwarranted, that is not true. The Healer. Surrender, letting go, trust, expansion. Protection. I'm getting a feel, I haven't turned over the other cards yet, but I'm almost getting the feeling that you don't want to mess up a good thing that you have going by taking a new direction. Okay. The Botanist, Parenthood, Legacy, and the Whale. Some of you have really been in a role for a long time. It could be the role of a parent. It could be the role of a child, a wife, a husband, a girlfriend, whatever. You've been in a role, and you've taken that role seriously. You've kind of surrendered to that role. Like, I'm going to do a good job. Could be a work role. And now your intuition is telling you to break out. But there could be some missteps here, some misfires along the way. But it will change the course of your life. It will change a direction. There's something you're unveiling about yourself, or you want to, that you couldn't in this role that you've been in. And I feel like the fear is that, legacy here, the fear is that you're going to do something, or you want to do something that's not expected of you, or won't be received well, or it's like not in alignment with this other role you have. It's a fear of other people's perceptions of you in a way, or that you're going to ruin something that you worked very hard for by taking a chance, doing something that is unique and non-conventional, and that possibly exposes people who have been getting away with something for too long. Does this resonate with you? Let me know if you want, because it's quite interesting. Okay, so let's see how you could support your dreams and what you could grow moving forward. We have the stone, which reminds me of the Philosopher's Stone. We have blood moon, illusion, uncertainty, and narcissism. Psychic. The alchemist, balance, invention, and destruction. And the world. Some of you are really thinking about calling something out, okay? Exposing something. Yeah, I feel like that's okay. There's actually an opportunity in doing that. Now, this is a general message, so you have to use your own discernment. But you've been kind of, with the swan in reverse, it's like you've been kind of gliding over the surface, seeing what's going on, and maybe not really causing any ripples in the water. But I feel like with the Lover's card here, it's kind of part of your path to do something about something. Maybe you're exposing some kind of narcissism somewhere. And you're feeling like, well, if I'm fully healed, then why would I want to do that? These are good questions to ask. But maybe because you're healed or you're a healer, you are the one to do it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to do it from a balanced place, not a vindictive place, if this resonates with you. You have a lot of things on your mind. I can feel this energy here. You're at a crossroads. What should I do about this? What should I do? For others of you, you could feel like investing at yourself and stepping outside of this role that you've been in for so long is narcissistic of you, and that you shouldn't do that. But the advice here is to find balance between your roles. If this other role that you've been in is something that you want to sustain, this is not an either or situation. It's a both and. You can have both of these pursuits, both of these visions. You don't need to sacrifice one for the other, I feel is the big message here. I also feel like you are very psychic with alchemist, blood moon, psychic, and the stone. And the world. Well, all the cards here, and the world. And you need to lean into that a little bit more. And trust it. If you've been thinking about traveling, do it. If there's something online going on that you have some particularly intuitive feelings around, go with it, because that's true too. But yeah, I feel like some of you are going to bring an end to a situation where there's been a lot of illusion and uncertainty. And in doing that, it actually supports you. Okay, so let me ask, how does this support group 2? The Four of Pentacles. And the Scorpion. Tiger at the bottom. It protects you. It actually protects you. So that's interesting. It protects you to do something about this, to call it out. Protects your legacy, protects your future, protects your essence of being a chance taker. You're having a rebirth. So there's some snakes in the grass. And then there's also you shedding a skin. Okay, so yeah, I feel like this is important for you to not be afraid to do something about an injustice. And we had that in the last collective reading. So let's see what's going to change for you in this eclipse. The Maiden, Rider, movement, quick decisions, and progress. Release. The Gambler, loss and risks. And the Lamb in reverse. Okay, you're not going to be a sitting duck here in whatever situation this is. Okay, I feel like somebody has misperceived you, underestimated you, thought that you wouldn't do something that's in alignment with you, or you wouldn't stand up in a certain situation where you're feeling called to do so, and you're releasing some fear you have around loss. And this full moon eclipse is changing some kind of indecisiveness in you, because you're going to be making a quick decision, movement, progress in a positive decision, I was almost going to say, in a positive direction. The decision is positive because the Maiden allows you to create new energy in your life, to bring something new into form. I feel like there's something I want to know. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's how you feel too. Can you tell me anything? I didn't do this for the other group, but can you tell me more? What else needs to be said here, Spirit? Flight, opportunity, new venture, sorcerer, ambition, willpower, the stand, courage, determination, fearlessness. Yeah, you're taking some kind of stand. Apprentice, higher education, beliefs, and wisdom. Yeah, I feel like you're taking a stand against some conventional beliefs out there that are being put out there, propagated, and in a way that is oppressive, maybe to you or to other people, or that is keeping you stuck in a certain role. You're using your willpower and your ambition to create a new venture and opportunity for yourself. Okay, so that's what's going on right now in this eclipse. I feel like you are a very complicated person, okay? And I feel like you do have a lot on your mind, and that you should really trust your intuition above all else. That pull that you feel to do whatever it is that you want to do. Even if it's a little inkling of a thought, like go with it, run with it, move towards it, explore it. Okay, group 2. That's what I have for you. I hope that helped. I love you so much. I'll see you next time. 3, Amethyst. Okay, I'm going to pull out the cards and see what we get, but I'm getting a message that you need to be very careful and discerning of the messages you receive and that you take in as your own, as well as the messages you give. Okay, this could be in your day-to-day life to friends and family and loved ones, or in your profession, or maybe you're a reader yourself, but there's something about using your discernment and being cautious and mindful of when the frequency of fear comes through versus the frequency of love. There are warnings that need to be said, but there are ways of saying them that support growth and development. And then there are ways of saying those warnings that block energies from coming through that need to come through. Okay, so I don't know what that's about for everyone. Could be a side message, but it feels like you just need to be very discerning and take your time. 111. Okay, take your time with something. Don't sacrifice your ethics, your morals, your quality, your connection to source or spirit for anything. Okay? So let's get into your message, and you might be like, Andy, I don't. Awesome. But somebody needed to hear it. So let's get into the message and see what this eclipse is going to bring for you. Group 3. Group 3. What's going on here for group 3, spirit guides? some of you need to shift your focus off of something that doesn't do anything for you. It's become a little bit of a habit to focus on whatever this is. There's a situation where there's nothing you can do at this time. Seeing the number 13 in my mind's eye. Also the number 8. There could be something like very karmic, some, karmic cycle thing going on. And you need to just momentarily or indefinitely, I guess you decide, but like shift your focus off of it. And for those of you where you are shifting your focus off of it, but it keeps popping up, I'm hearing something like debutante, Delaware, something like that, divine feminine. Then know that you are in charge of the messages that you receive. Okay, you can choose not to receive certain messages, either by not listening to them or by talking to spirit and saying, I don't wish to know about that at this time. Okay, the warrior, perfectionism, and burnout, because I feel like some of you are getting guidance or giving guidance, or there's some message coming through to you that is exhausting you on some level. There could also be someone coming to you to try to figure something out, and it's like almost a relentlessness, and you need to just say stop. No, I don't want that in my field right now. Okay, let's see, Spirit. Group 3. Okay, let's take a look. What is something your intuition is telling you that is absolutely true? The Temple. Guides. Knight of Swords. Specters, discernment, critical thinking, and insight. The Miser, stubbornness and inflexibility, and the Empress. Yeah, it's like someone's funneling some message to you, or there's someone around you who wants to hear something, or okay, I feel like I just have to go with this for a second, but if this isn't you, don't worry. It doesn't mean the whole message isn't for you. For those of you who are readers, okay, or you do any spiritual work for anybody, there is something here where the people you're working with could be calling on you to deliver particular information, but it doesn't mean that that information is for the highest good of all. There's something about discerning what's coming from a higher plane of consciousness and what's coming from your just psychic ability to intuitively pick up on other people's egos, desires, wants, and needs. Because you can be a channel for your higher self, for spirit, for source consciousness, and you can also psychically, intuitively know how to talk to other people's egos, okay? And what they want to hear. And it doesn't mean that you need to say it. And in fact, you should be very discerning about that, because I'm getting, for some of you, there are people who are like, you're feeling their energy very strongly. And they might be inflexible, they might be stubborn, they might only want to hear something particular from you, but you need to speak from a place that is sacred and that is guided. Okay, and it's going to take a little bit of discernment and critical thinking in order to really figure out what's happening or what energy is coming from where. Because sometimes spirit has messages that are speaking to egos, that are talking about the things that people are desiring to hear, but it's coming through because it's for the highest good of all. But then there are other times where those messages aren't necessary or they're not really helping. And so there's just something about intuitively knowing, like feeling in your gut that something's not really right here. I don't feel like this is comfortable for you as a reader. Like something will feel a little off. You'll feel like you're going against something pure in you. Okay, and you need to listen to that. It's okay to feel uncomfortable from time to time. We push ourselves out of our comfort zone and we grow, but you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, that feeling you get when you're reading and it just doesn't feel right. You have to listen to that. Okay? It doesn't mean it's bad or it's negative what you're picking up on. It's just not your service could be used in a higher form, you know? Okay. For those of you who aren't readers, there is something similar going on where somebody wants you to discuss something or somebody wants you to join them in some misery or some miserly energy. They want you to make them feel better or give them something that helps heal them in that space when that's not meant for you, or it can feel very draining for you. There's something very important about you protecting your sacred space and your sacred abilities to heal others, if you're a healer, or to guide others, or to take care of others. Okay? I also feel like some of you intuitively, you know that you shouldn't be giving into the demands of someone, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Can I get one more here for group 3? Wayfarer, contemplation, search for truth, inner guidance, number 11, and stoicism, peacefulness, receptiveness, and manifestation. What do I say here? Warrior at the bottom. Don't go into the swamp. Okay, don't go into the swamp unless you know how to get back out. Yeah, I don't know. That's what's coming through with that. Don't go into the swamp unless you know how to get back out. And also, think about yourself. Okay, think about how things are impacting and affecting you. Contemplate on that and seek your inner guidance. What is your inner self telling you to do when you're being beckoned to go to the swamp with someone, for someone, etc.? Because you can choose not to do that. Okay. So, what's a fear that's unnecessary and untrue? The village, the talisman, cage, freedom, release, reclaiming your power. Look, you have the key to the cage. And this is what I'm saying. The village, others outside of yourself could be caging you, you know, but this is a fear that's not true. You are free. The priest, perseverance and faith. The star. And the 6 of swords. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, so Spirit is saying, you know, you could feel bottlenecked, I'm hearing, trapped into something, locked into something. This is the way you've been doing it, and now you must continue doing it this way. Or in order to get the respect of the people around you or admiration of those that you care about, you have to perform in a certain way, or you have to be a certain way, or you have to give over your power in some sense. This is not true. Okay? If that's the village that you're in, that village is not for you. Okay? This could have to do with family, colleagues, anything. Spirit is saying to maintain your faith in your higher calling, in what you know to be true. Some of you are going to have to break a mold a little bit, and that could be uncomfortable. Might not be the most popular thing to do or say, whatever it is that you're doing or saying, but it is true to you. And you will show the way to those who seek the truth. Yeah, because I'm hearing you don't want to be like 1313. You don't want to be dragged to the swamp with lies. I don't know what this is about. Okay, guys. This is, I'm hearing something about politics. Maybe this is political. I don't know. The Six of Swords is great, though, because Spirit is saying what you need to do to alleviate yourself from this fear, or that it could be just like a conflictual energy that you're facing, is to like mentally distance yourself from that village, from those people, from this feeling that you have to cater to something. Sometimes you will have something very truthful and harsh to say, and you could feel fearful of saying the truth because you'll be abandoned or left behind or not welcomed anymore. What do you want to say about that? You need to have courage in those situations because you are a leader, and leaders are not always liked, but they're respected. A leader is often not part of the pack, but they're not meant to be part of the pack. They're meant to lead the pack. A way shower. You will show the way. Okay, so this isn't about popularity. This is about or being liked by someone or loved by someone. This is about you being courageous to stay in your authentic self. Don't do something you're not guided to do, that you don't feel right doing. In business, in spiritual endeavors, in relationships. I mean, it's pretty basic knowledge to not do that, but we can all get into our complexes, into our fears, into our ego, where we compromise our morals, our ethics, our values, our authenticity, or we get confused about them because we care what somebody thinks, or we want to maintain a friendship or relationship. But now's not a time to give in to that. You will be respected. Okay? So let's see how you can support your endeavors. The underworld. There's a swamp. The underworld. Time. Owl, wisdom, independent thinking, enlightenment. The catalyst, radical changes and taking control. Deer. And the Fool. You are carving a new way, a new path. And I feel like you've done your time in the swamp, okay? Whatever that means to you. You've done your time in the underworld. And this is partly what has made you the owl, Persephone, high priestess, wise, is because you know what the swamp is all about. You know what the underworld is all about. But you also have found your way back. So what was the message? Don't go into the swamp unless you can find your way back. So maybe you can go into the swamp and find your way back. But what I'm seeing here with the Fool is maybe you can go somewhere else that isn't swampy. That is more peaceful and enjoyable. You could change things up for yourself here. Independent thinking. Go to an enlightened place or space. The Catalyst. Radical changes taking control. Getting out of the swamp could have been a catalyst for you. And so maybe it's a temptation to go back into the swamp every now and then when you feel you need a boost to recatalyze yourself into something, but you don't. You can take control of the energy of the situation and move into a different space, a different place. What is this? Different space, different place. The ocean, the heart. And I see the shapeshifter here too. Okay, so you're powerful. You can go to all places. You can go to all places. You can go to the heart. You can connect with your guides. You can go to the ego swamp. You can go wherever you want. The subconscious, the creative lands, anywhere you want to go, you can go. So it's your choice where you want to go. And why not go to the heart of the ocean? Why not go where there's love and wisdom and unlimitless potentials? Yeah, there's, like the swamp, there's things unseen underneath the surface. But unlike the swamp, the ocean is vast. It's powerful. It's full of potentials. There's hidden treasures. Whereas the swamp, I don't know. You make what you will of that space. It's interesting. It's a little complicated too. I feel like you need to explore how do I say that? Okay, how do I say this? There's a collective swamp, a collective underworld full of fear and monsters and villains and self-sabotage, all of the things, low self-esteem, all the things in the swamp. It's all there. And you were there too. You have been there. Maybe you still are there from time to time. But I feel like Spirit is saying people are calling you to that swamp, maybe to help them out. And you do know the way out, but every time you spend time going there and pulling people out of the swamp or re-pulling yourself out of the swamp, it takes away from the time you could be spending exploring the ocean, which also has maybe fears and unexplored aspects of yourself that are a little bit unknown to you, or in the moon energy, but it's not attached to this like collective dread. Does this make any sense? Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Let's see what's going to manifest for you in, I was almost going to say in the next 3 months, but no, in the eclipse, but maybe this is over the next 3 months. The prayer. I feel like Spirit wants you to explore a different plane of consciousness in whatever it is that you're doing. It's like elevate yourself, pick yourself back up. Don't be lured into something that is not helpful, I guess. Message, the prayer and message, especially for readers. This is about your discernment, shelter, spiritual growth, accountability, and healing. the pathless, difficult decisions, lack of direction. Yeah, it's like forge a path, a clear path, and stay on the path. Stay on the path. Mother of Swords. On the path, there can be harsh truths, but stay on the path. Okay, yeah, so what else? The Tower and the Crocodile. There are people who want to see you falter and go back to the swamp with the crocodile. There are those people, and they will pull you energetically towards them. And it's up to you what you want to spend your time on. But Spirit says you know best. You know the path. You've received the messages from Spirit. And Spirit has shelter, like has a shelter for you to get out of that. In other words, Spirit protects you. 23, but you make ultimately you make the decisions with your free will where you want to go. But your spiritual growth, your accountability, and your dedication towards healing, maybe collective healing, is your shelter, is your protection. So stay on the path and lead others on that path as well. If you stay on the path, then others will know where to go. But if you go to the swamp, they're not going to go anywhere. You're coming to them. Do you get what I'm saying? This is kind of like a, I don't know. It's a message for readers, I feel. Okay. I feel like healing is possible there, but it's very difficult. And it's partly difficult because it's like you're going backwards into something when you don't need to. You're compromising something in your own growth by doing that. Okay. So at this eclipse, Spirit is telling you you're going to have a kind of maybe rude awakening, or something's going to happen to throw you off a little bit. Might be big, might be small, probably not tremendously difficult, but it's going to be an epiphany light bulb moment where you're like, hey, I got to get back on the path. Something ain't right here. And I'm not about to go down to the swamp with the crocodiles. I'm going to keep flying with my owl wisdom towards higher levels of truth, because that's my destiny. That's what I'm doing. Okay? So remember that. And the village might not always want that or appreciate that, but you're not here to please. Okay? You're here just to be you and to enlighten yourself in the process. All right, that's what I have for you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.